Hi everyone, it's Jan and I am back with a quick tutorial on how I created this tag insert page for the masculine mini album that I have shown you in a previous video. You'll notice that it's made up of 2 strips of cardboard, and this one I made was 2 3/4. I'm going to show you how to do one with 2 inches because it's going in a smaller mini album, but whatever width you use, make sure that you are leaving room for your holes to come in, or your binding or whatever. So I usually keep a good 3/4 of an inch in addition to whatever width of the depth of these little this accordion binding insert pockets are. Okay, so let's get started on actually creating this little tag holder. And for this mini album that I'm working on, it is going to be 6.5 inches tall, and I'm not exactly sure how wide it's going to be because I'm still working on some of the design details, but it's going to be maybe 6 or 7 inches wide. So I'm going to make long. So I'm going to make this 6.5 inch width, and I'm making this 2 inches so that I'm leaving plenty of room for binding with these holes here, and still not going to cover them up with my little tag accordion holder. So the first thing that I do is I go ahead and mark where my binding holes are going to be, but I don't actually cut them yet. Before I do that, I turn them over and I use my ATG or your Scotch Quick Dry or whatever it is that you want to use to put your background paper. So I'm going to put these on here. And you can just rub with, one of the reasons that I like working with ATG for this kind of thing is that the glue sometimes will make your paper buckle, and your ATG, whatever sticks out, you can just rub away. So I'm going to cover my second piece, and you only need to do the 2 outsides because the inside is really never going to be seen. So I'll put this on here, and I didn't do a great job of measuring this, but I'm going to go around and add some distress ink on the edges at the end, so it's not so important that it be super. So then I'm going to put my 2 pieces together, and I'm going to use my crocodile and just on the marks just punch through them all at once. Okay, so that's the first step, and so now I have my 2 pieces. So I can lay them out so they're like this, and now we need to create the insert. And to do that, I take a piece of cardstock that is cut to the width, and then I use my Martha Stewart scoreboard, and I'm going to do 1 inch scores from the left to the right. And the reason that I do that is that until I'm actually constructing the page, I might want more little tag insert places. So I just go all the way out here to the end, and you'll see on this one I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and different scores. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I cut it on this one, we should be okay. But I am one of those people that it's trial and error for me, and I just scored. So here's going to be the piece that you're going to attach onto here. And that's going to be your first one. And so if you fold it one more time and back down, that gives you 2 valleys. So then you would cut on this, and for this particular project that I'm working on, 2 will be plenty. So I'm going to get my trimmer and I'm going to cut on that last score line. There. Sorry, it would be helpful if I would put this where you could see it, wouldn't it? Sorry, guys. Okay, so you end up, if you make 5 scores, each an inch apart, you end up with 2 inserts. And to attach it, I put them like this, and I use the score tape, and you want to put it right at the edge and run it down. And for this, so then I'm going to take this and making sure that my binding is, I'm not covering up the holes of my binding. I'm going to put that right there and attach that. And then before I attach the other side, I took my tiny attacher, the little tiny Tim Holtz stapler, and I did 2 little staples on one end and 2 on the other. And then did it on the next piece as well. And then it's the tension of these, whoops. It's the tension that holds the tags into, all of a sudden I'm having a bit of a fail with my tiny attacher. Okay, there we are. So I do that, and then I attach the other side. It's just easier if you've already attached the other side with this, then it's hard to get your stapler or little tiny attacher in there. So then we're going to go in here and line it up again with that edge. Put it down, and you now have your little accordion fold. And right now it's going to flap open, but when you put it in the binding with the rings, it will hold. So then you could just do that because your little tags would just go in and hold just fine. There, you can stack them in there. So I'm trying to grab a couple of little tags to show you. They'll just go in, and you may just want the tags hanging out there. But for mine, I really wanted to do a little added element. And so for this one that is Christmas, I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Snowman, and going to cover him with some book paper. And you need to cover both sides. And the last thing I want to do is I want to put some adhesive, and I want to use really strong adhesive, but you only want to put it on half of your element because you want half of it to stick out on the page. So I'm just putting a couple of pieces of tape on here, and I'm going to take that off. I'll strip off. I couldn't find my tweezers, and my fingernails just weren't working very well, so we'll go with this little piercer tool. And let's see. Well, and here's the really funny thing. This is what happens. I put it on the wrong half, because here's the binding's going to be over here. So probably I'm going to put him on the back for right now, and I may make another one, but you can see him sticking out. And then I'm gonna, on the front, I'm gonna put a little snowman. Sorry, you all got the, I'm doing this as I'm taping it, and therefore you see the mistake. So just double check to make sure that you're putting your tape on the right half of everything. And then I'll put this on here for right now, and we'll call that done. And then when I get it all finished up, we'll show you. But see this, now you can put your little tags in here. Have several of them lined up. And of course, probably prefer to have your snowman over on this side. But that's how you make the tag insert page for your mini album. I hope that is a fun project for you, and that you will go and create it for yourself. And whatever you do, please be sure and take time